Welcome everybody to the emergency panic. What's happening? I was at a nice dinner with my family, and now I'm here. I still have my jacket on.
You're really peaking. You're really peaking.
I'm a little manic at this point. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Pride of Detroit emergency meeting. This isn't technically a podcast. We're not putting this. This is just a live reaction after dark. Whatever. Everything has gone psycho. The Detroit Lions have agreed. They have not traded. They have agreed to terms with the Los Angeles Rams to trade Matthew Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff. Okay, goodbye, Chris. For Jared Goff. I could hear you before. I'm not sure why you just left.
Twitch just says they can't hear me.
What? Twitch, you can't hear him? Oh, Chris is quiet, and I'm just super loud. I'll just shut up. Oh, desktop audio is really loud. Quiet. Okay, we're better now. Sorry. My fault. Okay. Lions are trading Matthew Stafford. Have agreed to terms to trade Matthew Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff, for 2020 first round pick, for 2023 first round pick, and for 2021 third round pick. I think I got everything there.
And we get Jared Goff?
Yes, he was the first person.
Okay.
First thing I said.
Look, listen. I have to wolf down this UDON. I go to work I have to be at work in 2 hours. So.
I fixed it, everybody. Everyone relax, chat. I fixed his mic. My desktop audio was low.
The people want to hear me, Jeremy. I know you want to be the tyrant on this.
I do.
You want to yell over me at every chance you get, and that's the oldest trick in the radio playbook. You turn down your co-host so you sound like you're the good one.
I sound super muffled. Here, I'll turn my mic
CRISPR
down.
deaf. I like that. Yeah.
All right.
No, yeah, you are coming in like peak. We'll play around with it, but yeah, sorry, this is not going to be pretty and put together, folks. We have to react to this because this is. I don't think any one of us expected this kind of deal to drop at 10 p.m. on the Saturday, the week before the Super Bowl.
Right. They said the line said, or we had heard reports they wanted to get the deal done by the Super Bowl. I think maybe they thought the Super Bowl was tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nope, it's
maybe
not.
Maybe they meant the Senior Bowl.
Well, they didn't get it done by the Senior Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was today. I'm
close enough.
Before the Pro Bowl?
Sure, not happening. All right, let's just jump right into it. Instant reactions. My initial thoughts right off the bat is this was more than I was expecting to get in return. The Lions did do the Rams a favor, but they got more in return because of it. That's how this works. I think a lot of people thought I had said a first and a third is about what I expected. So you think of it in that way. The Lions also picked up an extra first for doing the Rams a solid by eating $43 million of Jared Goff's cap ridiculous contract that the Rams just weren't going to end up paying regardless. I mean, they couldn't really cut him, but
no,
they were trying to get him out of there for whatever reason. They were able to do that. The Lions, like I said, did them a favor, and it got the Lions an extra first round pick. I'm okay with that. I'm totally cool with that. I'm totally cool with bombing the cap this year and next. I mean, it's probably not even fair to say they're bombing the cap, to be completely honest, because it's not like Jared Goff is ridiculously expensive. He's going to take on a $27.8 million cap hit this year, $25.5 next year. That's not horrible. That's about what you expect for Stafford's cap hit next year, I think. Right. And so
I think Stafford's is a little bit more, but yeah.
So, net, I think trading Stafford frees up about $15 million. Then you're taking on Jared Goff's $27.8 million. So net, you're still adding $12.8 million to your cap this year, which is not great. And I think Eric Schlitt said that technically puts the Lions over the cap for 2021. I mean, we don't even know what the cap.
There's going to be some other cuts. There's going to be some other cuts.
There's going to be a ton of cuts.
The Patricia era are going to be gone.
And at this point, we don't even know what the salary cap is going to be for 2021. Like, everyone's speculating that it's going to drop, and it probably will drop. We just don't know how far. And I think a lot of people are saying it might not be as far as a lot of people were expecting early on. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, and I'm writing about this tonight, and I'm going to have it for you tomorrow. But there is this mythology, I think, among NFL teams, among NFL fans, that when you trade, there's a clear winner and a clear loser. That it's Jimmy Johnson doing the great trade robbery in Dallas with Minnesota. That you're just, you're dealing Herschel Walker and you're fleecing the other team. That's not how it works in the NFL. It's a great myth. But at the onset, the best trades are when you make everyone happy. And so far, it seems everyone, except for maybe Jared Goff, is happy right now. Stafford gets to go to Los Angeles. He's apparently over the moon at this trade. So guess what? Lions, you were worried about your PR. You were worried about your reputation with players. You did right by Stafford in this trade. You did right by Stafford. You send him to where he wants. So Los Angeles itself now can deal with, hey, did you know that Clayton Kershaw and Matt Stafford went to the same high school? They alone can deal with that. They alone can deal with that now. They get to deal with Kelly Stafford. They get to deal with all of that. But Stafford also gets to go to a team with, let's be honest, McVay's system, perfect for him. Yeah. For the Rams, you dump off Jared Goff. You get out from underneath it, and you get a quarterback who you think is going to put you in the playoffs. Granted, the NFC West is a super tough division, but they have the quarterback that they think will take them, and damn the price, because they want to, win for like 2-3 years or so. It's hard to set up dynasties in the NFL, but they're trying to do the next best thing, which is to keep a window open. For the Lions, come on, you got 2 first-round picks out of this. You got 2 first-round picks, a third-rounder. I don't want to hear about the situation going into 2021. Everyone thought it was going to be bad anyway. I don't care about the situation. Like, it'll suck. It'll probably suck for us that we have to cover it and everything. But like, this was a long-term plan. Holmes and Dan Campbell got a 6-year deal when he came to town. That indicated he's here for a long haul. They're going to go through some growing pains, and they have to rebuild the defense. They have to rebuild. They have to get a new quarterback at some point, and they've got options with these trades to do it. They can go up. They can still go up this year. Picks for 2022 and 2023 still as good as they are for this year. They end with the seventh overall plus future first round. That's enough ammo. If you want to still go up this year, you can. But if you want to wait for next year, perfectly fine. So, like, the Lions have so many options on the table now. It's hard for me not to see how everyone comes away at least at the onset, at least winners. Now, Stafford might bomb in LA, and that would be bad for him. That would be bad for the Rams. Good for the Lions, because then that improves that draft pick.
Sure.
But and maybe the Lions swing and miss on some of these drafts. But right now, everyone walked away happy in this. Everyone walked away happy except for 2 people, Jared Goff and whoever Josina Anderson's league source is, which, spoiler, probably with Washington.
Right. It's probably Martin Mayhew just screaming into the void right now.
Or Dan Snyder.
Right. Yeah, and I think you bring up a couple good points. One that I think needs to be reiterated is this means the Lions don't have to go quarterback at 7 overall anymore. They don't.
No, they got options.
They have options. I don't think it means they won't. I think they certainly still could and maybe should if their guy is still there. But now they don't necessarily have to, what we were talking about before, like, this was a situation where they didn't have a quarterback that they could field out there in 2021. They might have to get whatever they get for Stafford and trade that up with the 7 pick to go get their guy in this draft. Now they don't have to do that. And let's be a little bit clear about Jared Goff too. Like, he isn't shit. Like, he isn't like the worst. Everyone's treating him like he's the worst quarterback in the league right now. I
joked he might still be the second best quarterback in the NFC North, and it might be true this year, depending what happens with Cousins and Trubisky.
I've somehow become a Cousins stan.
I'm really down on Cousins. I'm really down on Cousins, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, you're absolutely right. Like, everyone's writing off Goff as like this is some project that's bombed from the get-go. We've seen guys go to different places and do all right. I don't know what Goff is. I don't even know if the Lions will hold on to Goff. They might try to flip him for some other move.
Who else is going to take that? No one's going to take that contract.
All right, you're right. I'm a little ahead of my skis on that one. But yeah, no, I don't think Goff is a terror. Like, I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I think you can do a lot worse than Goff. And either way, like, if you do bad with Goff this year, so what? If you think this season's in the tank, like, I'm not saying to tank, but maybe do what the Jets and the Jags did this year.
Yeah. And at the very, 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 very least, like, the Lions just got a tad more watchable in 2021. Like, no one really wanted to see, You know, the line, like, was anyone getting that excited about maybe adding Tyrod Taylor or starting David Blau or Chase Daniel? Like, no one's really that excited about it. And
I was excited for Taylor.
I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you on Jared Goff and say, you know what, maybe he's actually got something. Maybe he can. Maybe by year 2, he's there with Anthony Lynn. He's comfortable, and suddenly we see someone completely different, and we actually have our quarterback for the future. We don't even need to consider. He's only 26 right now. Like, I'm not going to feed you that. He's an average to below average starting quarterback in this league. So I'm talking 16 to 20th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
that's something. You can support a manageable team. The Lions are certainly at a better position at quarterback than the Chicago Bears are right now.
And if you go and get a quarterback now in the 2021 draft, your guy is there, and you decide you're going to pull the trigger on a Zach Wilson or a Trey Lance, depending what the Jets do at 2 or whatever. Like, you can sit him for a year.
Yeah.
Let Goff play.
Yeah.
Let Goff play out the year you have him.
Yep.
And what have we seen work for Kansas City? They sat Patrick Mahomes. They didn't throw him into the fire. They gave him time. Listen, you're going to sit here with a clipboard. You're going to learn the system. You're going to learn to protect yourself. You're going to maybe take some reps in practice or whatever, but you're going to learn how to play in the NFL. You're going to learn how to survive in the NFL. So you don't just get thrown into the fire and get completely doused like we've seen some other guys who do have to start as a rookie, and their progress is stunted. It's something I've been really high on for a while. So again, the Lions have a lot of flexibility right now. They have flexibility on what they can do in the draft, what they can do in the quarterback position, what they can do in the drafts for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. Okay. And you're committed to your coach and front office for the long term.
Yep.
So let's give it some patience and see what we got.
Yeah. It's a start. And like I said, I think most people here were expecting a first and the third. Now they got more than that.
Mm-hmm.
They got more than that. And yes, they got a big contract that comes along with this. And yes, it's going to inhibit them from making any free agent splashes this offseason, probably.
We're not building through the free agency right now.
Yes, right. No one needs that. And yes, you could potentially have that roll over into future years. Sure, I get all that. The one thing I think I've seen that maybe people are concerned about is, well, what does this mean about Kenny Golladay? Does this mean Kenny Golladay is not going to get extended? Maybe that's something worth considering. And it's worth considering, some of the young talent on this team by the time they're going to be contenders, like Taylor Decker. He's going to be on year 2, either the second to last year or the last year on his deal by the time maybe this team is contending. TJ Hawkinson is going to be due a new deal by 2023. DeAndre Swift might get there, but who else is there really? Like Jonah Jackson. Yeah. I guess Frank Ragnow is going to.
This is kind of that part I see as the sins of what you had to deal with for the
Romeo
Patricia years.
But I mean,
that's the.
I think my main point is that, like, even the money needed to extend players, there just aren't that many players worth extending at this point. That it's just like, all right, well,
you want to get young. You want to get young.
Yeah.
Real quick, we have like 3 $5 donations now on YouTube. Tim Dinnan says Rams got jumped. Lions are going to be unstoppable in like 8 years. Maybe that would be cool. Jonathan Wedgerock, trade our surplus of first rounds to get Trevor Lawrence. I'm sad to say Jags have a dead man's grip on the first overall pick. I'm sorry. It won't be Lawrence. Official Savage, trade Goff for more picks. Someone will give a first and third for him, I'm sure. No, not with a contract. That's the thing, folks. That Goff contract was the tax you paid to get that second first round pick. Denver was ready to send you probably a first rounder, but they weren't ready to also throw in some of their young talent, which is apparently what the Lions wanted. But the Rams, they gave you 2 first overall picks. But let me tell you something. You're not taking that without doing them a solid, which is eating the poo that is the Goff contract. Yeah. And I think some of the money is still on Los Angeles. But again, it's a short-term salary dump for Detroit. It's not an albatross that is going to hang on their necks forever, like some people I've seen characterize it. It's not. That's not the way it's going to go.
And just, I mean, the line should listen. Yeah, if there are teams that are desperate for a quarterback, this seems like a year in which there are going to be a lot of quarterbacks moving around, and who knows what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. I've already heard people start talking about, well, he's probably going to face a season where he sits it out. He's going to sit out, and so maybe he's not available, and maybe that means that there is a quarterback hungry team out there. But
it sounds like Houston Texans want to. like on Friday, it sounded like the Houston Texans wanted to hold on to him.
Oh no, they 100% want to hold on to him. They do not. They got a grip on him, and they're at a bypass right now, and who knows what eventually happens there. But I do think it's very, very, very unlikely a team gets desperate enough to go after Goff.
Yeah. We've got $15 more from YouTube. You're rolling in the YouTube bunny now.
Dang, look
Jonathan
at that.
Wedge Rock, get Goff out of here for a third or less and boost our draft capital. Maybe.
I'd take it. I'd
take it. I'd take it. $10 from Israel Dunham. Very excited. What do we do with number 7 now? That pick is all the way open. I'm very excited. Yeah, again, the Lions got super flexible here for the next at least 2 drafts, maybe more. Like they got super flexible. Whatever it is, like the worst thing you can do in a draft is go in there saying, I need this position at all costs. Because that's how you end up with a subpar quarterback that you're just not feeling, but goddamn, you need to fill that position. Lions don't have to do that now.
Yep. What about...
And everyone's saying, oh, the 2022 quarterback class is not going to be good. I hear that every year. About next year's draft class, right? Like Joe Burrow, like I'm pretty sure the class Joe Burrow came out of, everyone was like, oh, there's no good quarterbacks in this class.
Right. What year's the third? The third round is this year, if I'm not mistaken. I myself am just catching up on everything myself.
It is this year, yes.
The third round is this year, and then you have one in a first round in 2022 and a first round in 2023. So only one pick gets added to the Lions draft pick or draft capital this year, which pushes them to 6 picks this year. I don't believe they have a 6th or a 7th. So that sounds great to me as someone who has to cover the 6th and 7th round of the draft to be done by the 5th round. That sounds amazing. I'm totally into that.
My God, you are rolling in this YouTube money, man. Where's Twitch? Where's Twitch right now?
Twitch has a couple subs we need to catch up on as well.
All right, real quick, I'm going to read these from YouTube and then I'll let you get to Twitch.
Yeah.
Crap, I just hit my gyudon, spilled some rice everywhere. We Dumb Boys, $5. Are we in the Spencer Rattler sweepstakes for next year? Maybe. I haven't done any scouting on Spencer Rattler. I'm sorry.
The Oklahoma quarterback, I can't say I have either, but I guess he's probably one of the top prospects, I would say, for expected to be in that 2022 class.
The only 22 guy I've watched is Keaton Slovis, and that's because my alma mater is USC. So, Jonathan Wedgerock, what are you eating? I'm intrigued now. This is gyudon. I make my own. I love making Japanese food. I'm sorry. I usually don't eat during a stream, but I go to work in an hour. So I'm like eating like hell while doing this.
The one thing to keep in mind with the 2022 class is remember going into his final year, Brad Kaya was considered the number 1 prospect in college football. So a lot can change in a year.
Things change.
Yes.
Things change. Like I keep hearing this 2022 thing from the Twitter draft scouts. Like, guys, things change. Like quarterbacks go through the transfer portal. They pop out the other end, and there's a coach waiting to elevate their stock.
Yes. 100%.
Waiting to elevate their stock.
Oops, sorry. Don't mean the... Get the echo in there. Sorry. I was pulling up the stream because I want to make sure I catch up on the Twitch activity as well. So I'm pulling up the activity feed real quick, and let's just rattle off these real quick before we get into our next points here. Let's see. Start at Tyler Bostador with the 7-month Prime subscription. State Nate with the 2 months. Crimson with the tier 1 sub. Welcome for the first time to the Pride. Appreciate you. Then State Nate cheered 200 bits. Cordy Aaron cheered 16 bits. Our Nick subscribed for the first time as well. Tier 1. Appreciate that. And then our good friend John Whitaker, 14 months, uses his Twitch Prime here. Appreciate that as well.
POD on POD action.
Yes, sir. Just how I like it. What? Anyways,
I'm sorry. I just have to react to this again. One, I am happy that that Stafford is a Ram. First off, because I think Rams Lions play each other in Los Angeles this year.
They do. Yep.
So that'll be fun. I might try to go down, and assuming we all have the vaccine by then. 2, he's not a Colt. 3, he's not a Bear.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was never going to be a Bear. Like, I know, who was it? Albert Breer put it out there. Like
Albert Breer.
Breer. And to be clear, it came from a Periscope in which he named 7 teams he was connected to. That was where the tweet originated from, and it was never going to happen.
Yeah, the 49ers stuff out of the Senior Bowl is weird, too. I'm supposed to go on this podcast this week with this Javier Vega guy, but I don't know if that'll still happen. I'm hoping it will, but he was the one pushing a lot of those 49ers Stafford rumors too.
Yeah.
So I don't. And again, it sounded like Washington was in play for this too, and they got burnt, and they're whining to Josina Anderson now. It sounded like Broncos were kind of left at the altar. They were probably the closest, and they would have had the highest draft pick this year to give to the Lions out of any of those teams.
I want to bring up a point that our good friend John Whitaker brought up, because I think it's a very, very good one. He says, subtle thing to consider, this 2021 draft process is going to be very different, harder to scout prospects, almost no recent tape. Having first-round picks in 2022 and 2023 could make it easier for the Lions to get comfortable with the prospect. Not only that, like, you have to imagine Brad Holmes is going to take a while to get all of his guys in here in time. Like, he's working on a shortened schedule, no combine, no face-to-face interviews, only working on pro days. Next year, he's going to have more of his guys in place. Everyone's going to have the full year to be working together. The Lions should get better as their draft goes on, and Brad Holmes will certainly be more comfortable by the time those first-round picks come in. So I think that's a very important point to bring up. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like, we didn't see a lot of. I know guys are loving some of these guys coming out, but we didn't see a lot of games from a lot of these guys this year either.
Nope.
Like,
not at all.
We just didn't. Like, and I know people are really. Trevor Lawrence is pretty much a given thing for whatever reason, but some of these other guys, like Trey Lance, played one game this year. One game. Like, I can't trust that.
Right. It's a huge risk. It's a huge risk. Goff officially back on the trading block. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be very, very interesting.
But I mean, what this means for the Lions is, again, like, I mean, again, I have to come back to flexibility, but I think that point you make about 2021, I don't know what their intentions are going to be for 2021 yet. I think, not having the interviews really hurts.
Sure.
I think not having the interviews there really hurts. I know they're calling it the combine. It's not a combine. It's just a bunch of pro days.
Yeah. It's not a combine. Absolutely.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is, like, and I think people are on board and realize what the score is coming into this year. But this coming year, I'm not going to say it's going to be bad, because Carolina Panthers said that too, and then they started rattling off a couple games. But you never know.
You do.
But at this point, though, taking on a somewhat toxic contract, probably needing to dump some salary. The Lions are just, it's going to suck for a little bit. It's just going to suck for a little bit.
And it always
that's at least the blueprint. But
as soon as Stafford was out the door, like, we knew 2021 was going to suck. And the good thing about Jared Goff's
matter how much suck.
The good thing about Jared Goff's contract is we're done with it in 2 years. Like, he's technically signed for another 3 years after that, but there's no guaranteed money. The Lions can get out of it completely with no dead cap. So basically, the Lions are cleared to part ways from him, assuming that things don't turn around in his career, assuming that the Lions find themselves a rookie quarterback, which, again, as we said, is no longer something that they have to do in 2021. They don't have to do it if their guy isn't there. And so it's all about creating options in the draft, and the Lions just created a big option there.
Let's be clear on his dead cap too for 2022 as well. It's only $15 million if you cut him next year too.
Right.
And you just eat that $15 million.
Right.
So, I mean,
not the end of the world.
You're going to be getting younger. You're going to be getting a lot of guys on rookie contracts. You want to get younger. This whole thing wants to get younger. To stop relying on these free agency picks, which Bob Quinn brought in to fix his draft mistakes and everything else. You're going to get younger. You're going to get guys under team-friendly deals. It's just going to be weird for a little bit, but I think we're here to embrace the weird a little bit. I think the Lions kind of have to embrace the weird. There's no other way forward. I'm not saying, like, rebuilds. I know everyone's got PTSD about the last time the Lions had to do this, but again, I feel like with the strategies in the NFL right now in front office work, like, this can be turned around faster than I think any of us think. It's just a matter of landing those big hits. You got to land good defensive picks, and you've got to land your quarterback pick in the draft.
Couple more donations here through Super Chat in YouTube's. First from Jonathan Wijroke, I'll say. In a weird spot, I want Stafford to win, but I also want him to bomb for us now for a better draft pick. Yeah, that was always kind of the thing going on in the back of my head. It's just like, no matter where he goes, that's going to be the case. Like, there's going to be a reason to root against him. But yeah, I guess it's either win-win or lose-lose, I suppose. Whichever way, it's a glass half full type of thing. So
that's something to keep in mind too. Is like the Rams going to the Super Bowl isn't guaranteed. Like that's a tough division. The NFC West now is a super. I don't know what the 49ers do for their quarterback now that they're kind of left standing at the altar, but you're talking about a 49ers defense, a Seahawks defense, a Seahawks quarterback. Who knows what the Cardinals will be? The one worry I have about Stafford going to the NFC West, if you are a Stafford fan, is those are some hellacious defenses to line up against, and I hope those injuries hold up.
The one thing though to maybe consider, and this is in the Rams' favor, is like there are a couple dynasties that are potentially top. Maybe dynasty is not the right word, but like Saints probably not going to be who they have been next year. Bucks, they're going to make a Super Bowl run this year, but who knows what makes of that dream team? Let's just call them that for simplicity.
I think he'll be back for one more year.
Maybe
it's a 2-year deal. Yeah.
And then the Packers are going to have to make some bold moves this offseason as well, and that's why the whole Aaron Rodgers drama turned out to be what it is. Aaron Rodgers is going to be there in 2021, but not for much longer. And so the Rams have a window here where I think they can compete. We'll see how Arizona progresses with Kyler Murray. I think the Seahawks they're just kind of a team that's in limbo at all times, but seem to weather the storm for whatever reason. And then who else? Is there anyone else really threatening at this point? I don't think there is. So I think I don't necessarily think this move makes the Rams the conference favorites, but they've got to be considered top 4, if not top 3 at this point.
Depending on what Washington does this year in the draft, I could see them maybe trying to become a threat. Yes.
Washington, no one from that NFC East is touching the Rams. I'm sorry.
Oh, not the Rams. I'm sorry. I didn't mean the Rams. I thought we were just talking playoff teams.
Oh no, I'm just saying like competing for the Rams and I see some people in the chat and I love this sentiment. They say, I hope the Lions are picking 32nd next year. And I love that sentiment, and I'm not sure I share it completely. I think I mostly do, but it's just like it's gonna hurt. I'm sorry. Like if I see Matthew Stafford raising Lombardi, it's going to hurt, and I'm gonna be happy for him, but it's also gonna hurt me inside.
Yeah, I'm not one of these people who is like, oh, I'm so happy for Justin Verlander going to Houston, winning a World Series. I'm not one of those Tigers fans. I'm sorry. I'll be happy if he does it. I'm not going to be rooting for him to do it. Like, I don't care. Like, guess what? All the Pad Stafford arguments, all the Kelly Stafford stuff, whether or not he's a winner or he's just a stat machine, I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Yeah. Get that all out of here. I don't have to worry about any of those arguments anymore. I don't have to pretend to care. I don't have to pretend that I care.
Yeah. $5 comes from Official Savage on YouTube. He says, Holmes knows building through the draft is curtail. He will try to ship Goff, and people said the Dolphins and Washington football team were going to be years out too. True. I do think a turnaround can happen fairly quick, although, I mean, the Lions they're building on nothing right now. They don't have a franchise quarterback.
Can you ban whoever's spamming the Bears shit in YouTube?
I can't.
All right.
Yes, I can. There we go. Block you. Was it Calvin Ray? Was that the guy?
I think that's just a personal block, but still, like, I don't care about the Bears, but still, like, don't spam that in our chat.
Whatever.
Clown.
Let's talk about Brad Holmes and Goff for a second, because we have to acknowledge the fact that Brad Holmes was one of the people that pounded the table for Jared Goff. He was one of the people that Les Snead turned to and said, hey, is Jared Goff worth trading up to get? And Brad Holmes said yes.
Yeah.
So, let's be clear. This was still a favor for the Rams taking on this contract. But I think there is a chance here that Brad Holmes looks at Jared Goff and still sees the guy he saw during the draft process and still thinks he's a guy that maybe still has a chance to turn it around this year.
This year is the turn it around. This year is the operative part. I was off that until you said that. I think this is Holmes. If he believes in Goff, this is him giving him is like, hey, here's one more shot. I'm giving you a favor here. One more shot. One more shot. You got to prove it. You got to prove that what I saw at you at Cal Berkeley, is the real Jared Goff. Not this crap you've been going through for the past few years, but the real Jared Goff is what you can do here. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then as we've talked about, it's very friendly to cut him in the next year or two. It's but it's I think it's even a favor to Goff. And like, look, I know people don't like Goff or whatever. And again, sometimes a change of scenery can help guys too. Maybe he just needs a new system. Maybe Anthony Lynn can do something with him. Maybe whoever the quarterbacks, Mark Brunell can maybe help his arm throwing motion or something.
Right.
But yeah, I don't have a lot of high hopes for Goff.
And
I'm saying don't put it out of the realm of possibility.
And the other thing to consider is, when was Jared Goff at his best? When the team had a running game. And what do we know that this Lions coaching staff probably wants to do in Detroit?
Lean on the running game.
Build a running game.
Lean on DeAndre Swift.
And so, it could happen. I'm not expecting Jared Goff to turn around and suddenly be a top 10 guy or anything like that. But there is reason to believe that maybe the Lions think that's a possibility. It's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah. I'm not going to say run out and buy a Jared Goff jersey, but again, I'm not going to write him off completely.
Right. And like I said, at the very least, it makes the Lions a little more watchable this year. They're not going to be trotting out,
Jared Goff is either going to be kind of cool to watch or a spectacular failure. There's no in between. Either way, it's going to be funny.
That's probably true. Freebird donated $4.99 through YouTube. Didn't leave a message, but we appreciate that, YouTube.
No, I think he's got his message now because I see he just donated again. 2 questions. One, do the Lions re-sign Galladay, and do the Lions draft a quarterback at 7?
Go ahead.
I don't think the Galladay re-signing is really in the cards at this point. Unless someone convinces him, hey, look, you've been sitting out too long, you're not going to command that much on the market, which I don't think is going to happen. But I can't see the Lions putting a lot of money into him, especially with the cuts they have to make now with Jared Goff's contract. Do the Lions draft a quarterback at number 7? Again, the question is, do they have someone they like this year? That's the big question. I wish I could say yes or no, but I honestly don't know.
I would say the odds of them picking a guy at 7 overall certainly went down today. It's not at 0. I would still almost put it at 50-50. But I was of the belief that whatever they got from this trade could potentially be packaged to go up and to maybe 3 and get the second best guy in the draft. Now I don't think the Lions are going to do that.
Official Savage, $2. Will Stafford be a top 10 fantasy quarterback this next year? Yes,
probably.
I got it out of your way.
That's okay. No. I wanted to go back to the Galladay question, because I think the answer is yes. I think they do re-sign him.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
And it might just be a franchise tag. But the thing you have to realize is when you sign a guy to an extension, you normally backload those contracts. That's standard operating procedure, so that you take very small cap hits, sometimes in the single digits in terms of millions in the first, sometimes even in the second year, and then that's when the cap hits. Well, guess what? That would line up perfectly with the Jared Goff contract, where it's like you take on a big hit for Jared Goff in these first 2 years. Those are the small parts of a Kenny Galladay extension, and then you bump it up. And we know there's mutual interest now. We know there's mutual interest to bring back Kenny Galladay, because Galladay has been saying it all offseason. He said it on Good Morning Football. He said it during the 2020 season. He said it after they fired Bob Quinn. And then apparently Justin Rogers of Detroit News talked to Holmes over the weekend, and Holmes said he's already talked to Kenny Galladay. He's already talked to Romeo Okwara. He wants to bring them both back. Obviously, they still have to work out figures and stuff, but to me, I think it makes sense that they still go after. They still bring back Kenny Galladay and have him for another 3, 4, maybe 5 years. And obviously, the price tag is going to be important. Obviously, Galladay is going to have to ask himself if he wants to be here for a rough year or two in Detroit. But I think he comes back. I do. And maybe that's just me being wishful.
And I think, well, I think I could see it, because as you say, like, you can structure it the right way. And there are other options the Lions have to cut the salary, to cut the cap if they need to. Collins, Coleman, Vaitai, Flowers, all those guys. I think some of them have to you'd eat a little bit of dead cap to cut a few of them, but
100%.
There's ways to do this. Like, if the Saints have proven you anything with how outrageous they are over the cap, there's ways to get around this. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and say it's impossible. Like, this was the week of everyone becoming a financial expert. I think the NFL, at the very least, has shown that maybe they can probably do some creative accounting here too.
Really quick, good friend, I had 4 HP left. My man Corbin gifted 510 bits. Appreciate that. Israel Dunham on YouTube, $5 in Super Chat, says, guys, do we change our view on rebuild and say maybe this is a retool? Over under 9.5 wins. I didn't want Goff, but man, we could do a lot worse. Israel is drinking the Kool-Aid over there. Is there any chance? 9.5 wins over under?
No, I'll take the under.
But, it's a 17-game schedule. Remember that. It's probably 17 games.
That is true. God, I keep forgetting that because everyone's like, oh, yeah, the Lions are going 0-16, and I correct them every time. 0-17, baby. I want to hit this. Just highlighted in our Twitch chat it keeps scrolling up, from Brenneman 30. Tweet from Jeff Darlington. Just talked to Jared Goff. He's already spoken with Lions coach Dan Campbell and several other members of the Lions staff. Based on those conversations, they very clearly view him as their starter moving forward. Physical coming soon. Sound like they're fired up to have him. Again, man, this is Jared Goff. If you're Jared Goff, this is the fresh start you wanted. Fresh new scenery. Guess what? You might not play well in the cold, but you don't have to. You play in a dome, right? You play in a dome. You might have, if this works out, you'll have a run game. You'll have 3 good pieces on the offensive line with Jonah Jackson, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow. And depending what the Lions do with Kenny Golladay, you might have him back. Guess what? Time to show what Goff, like, this is your shot, man. You want to show people that they were wrong about you, or you're just been in a flunk? Prove it.
I have to say, I hate these jersey photoshops. Like,
They're
they just make me sick. But like, I mean, this. First of all, that gray is not even the Lions gray. I don't know what that is. It looks like he soiled himself. Like,
do you have it up on chat? Oh, God.
I do. Like, I don't. What is that gray?
I don't know. Like, this is the problem. Nobody actually watches Lions games. No one actually watches Lions games, so they don't know.
It looks like he like this was week 17 and he never changed his pants. That's what it looks like.
Have you seen the Stafford Rams one that Schefter sent out? He looks so sweaty.
No, I people just like are so thirsty for retweets. They're like, I got to do this. I got to put him in a jersey. Chill, everybody.
Yeah, we know he's fake.
We can imagine what Jared Goff looks like in a Lions jersey. We don't actually need to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to go back, like, no, I'm not optimistic on this team in 2021. I'm not really sure why you would be necessarily. I don't want to downplay Jared Goff too much, and I do believe that tweet that the Lions probably think he's the starter at least for next year, probably the next 2 years, and we'll see what happens from there. And we know their GM likes him a lot, or the Lions GM likes him a lot, and so let's just see what happens. I mean,
like, the coaching staff likes him. And listen, I'm down to the Lions next year too. That doesn't mean I don't like what they've been doing this offseason. It's just a natural progression of what this team has to go through. You have to ride some lows sometimes.
Arnick asked over under on wins this year. Remember, let's assume 17 game schedule, which is a pretty safe. 17 games. I would set it at 5.5.
That's about where I'd set it. I'd set it at 6 even.
Okay. Yeah, so like 5-12 or 6-11. God, those numbers just seem
weird. That's gonna throw you off, isn't it?
5-12, 6 or 11.
But I mean, that's still good enough. That probably gets you in the consideration for a top 10 pick again next year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like,
people are saying 4, 4.5, 5, 9, 10, 2 or 3, 6, 7. You're saying 9 or 10. Man, you guys are optimistic. Another 5 from YouTube from Ebrima John asked, Lions need to trade back to 11 with the Giants, take Waddle, re-sign Golladay, and improve the defense to get after Aaron Rodgers. I think trading back is definitely more of an option now. I think that's something that we need.
It absolutely is.
And I mean, I'm rubbing my hands at that. I love the idea of trading down at all times. You obviously have to find someone that's willing to get up. But since the Lions have so many options now in the draft and so many holes to fill, like, there's not necessarily going to be a must-take guy for them at a must-need position. So maybe someone falls in love with the third or fourth quarterback on the board, and maybe he's still there at 7. And the Lions don't need to be thirsty and get the fourth best quarterback in this draft unless they absolutely love him. So, yeah, I think trading back is certainly an option, and I'd take a wide receiver if it nets you another second-round pick. Yeah, that's fine. The Lions are going to need a wide receiver.
BPA, best player available, man. Best player available. We have 650 people watching us on YouTube. 340. We've got over 1,000, almost 1,000 people watching us, Jeremy.
Crazy.
So
y'all are crazy. It's past midnight here
over
in Detroit.
Midnight on the East Coast.
But I appreciate you all joining us. We'll maybe go for another 15 or so.
Yeah,
Chris has got to go to work.
I got to go to work. I got to cut my hair. I still got to get dressed and everything.
Yeah,
and Jeremy needs to sleep, and I got to write something overnight for this thing now.
I'm probably going to write at least 2 or 3 more things before I go to bed. I can take the salary thing now that I have that tweet.
Yeah, you take the salary thing. I'd rather do like a full over column on.
That's fine.
Again, like. People won't love to say win or loser when I think everyone's just kind of a winner here. You know, you're all winners in my book.
And my good friend, how am I not myself, says it's only 9 p.m. in Stafford time.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's already too soon. I'm sorry. Was Spielman
it's
involved
gonna be
in this
weird.
trade?
It's gonna be weird, man.
It is going to be weird. It's not going to be pleasant to me to see Stafford in another jersey, but it's like I said at the time, it sucks, but it's the right move for everybody.
Again, I've had practice because I had to watch Verlander lift a trophy in an Astros jersey. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to just give him up. It's easy.
The question is, do I come out to LA to watch that game this year?
Well, you have a couch to crash on. Oh, although
I have
you're
multiple
couches
to crash.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, shut. But yeah, no, we could definitely go down to the Coliseum or wherever. Actually, no, wait, it'd be SoFi. Damn, God, I'd have to come down all the way from the Valley to Inglewood to watch a game with you. God.
All right, I'm not sure. Is there anything else that we need to tackle here, y'all? I probably need to catch up more on Twitch alerts really quick.
Yeah, let's clean up some of these alerts, and then I think we can get out of here. I think we've covered all of it. I think, Jeremy, we are going to move up PODcast.
Yes.
It will be live on Sunday, tomorrow, or today, depending on what time zone you're in.
Right.
So Sunday, we will have the PODcast. We've been moving it to Monday the last couple of weeks just because it's the end of the season, but it's going to come Sunday because we need to react to this Stafford news very quickly.
Yep. Really quick, J-Rock, thank you for gifting a sub to Zucifer. Zucifer got gifted a sub.
Wow.
Nick Slick also gifted a sub to J. Markle. Then we had Hellboy Kurt sub for 5 months in a row, 9 total. He simply asked, what is this life? We're in a new, unfamiliar territory, and it's kind of fun. I mean, when's the last time the Lions had 2 first-round picks, period, in a draft? I mean, since the Roy Williams trade, probably, and I don't even remember how that ended up working out.
Where's the meme? Where's the waffle meme? Where's the waffle meme?
MF Doom 313 with the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Pride. First time subscriber. We love to see it. Love to see it. And by the way, guys, if you are on Twitch and you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch account. Subscribe to this channel for free. Means no ads. It means you get fun little emotes. You can use the Angry Stafford emote for the last few times before we retire it forever. I'm going to throw it in the chat right now. It'll
stay on Discord for a while.
Yes. You also get a fancy highlighted name in Discord if you're part of our Discord community.
By the way, you should join our Discord community.
You absolutely should! ! Discord. If it's basically a live chat full of Lions fans. So if you're not part of that,
room. It's constant chat room. We've been building a bunch of stuff on there. We added a new channel that's called The Chart that explains my opinion very succinctly on Stafford going to the Bears, which is kind of moot at this point, but still some people seemed very confused and kept saying, well, what if they gave up 5 first-round picks? And I would say, look at the chart. What does the chart say?
The chart says no.
Can you please read what I DM'd you, though, on Discord? Please show that on the stream before we get out of here.
Okay. Let's see.
It's a picture.
Okay, hold I don't think chat's going to be able to read it, but it says with Russ, it's Chris Berman talking about a draft with Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper says with just Russell off the board, Detroit is in the driver's seat of this draft boomer. And then Goodell comes up and says, and with the second pick in the 2007 NFL entry draft, Detroit Lions select a waffle. And then Chris Berman at the very end says, I don't like this pick. I love this pick.
You're skipping over Matt Millen sitting there with the waffle in a Lions jersey.
He who shall not be named, Christopher.
I just want to throw that in there because that meme is fully back on the board, folks. That meme is fully back on the board. It's back from the dead. I love it.
Oh, man. All right. I think we're caught up.
You can see that meme on our Discord.
You can.
Including a whole memes channel on the Discord. So once again, if you're on Twitch, type !Discord and you can get the link to it. Or else we'll probably send it out tomorrow on our Twitter channel too.
Sure. Why not? All right. I think that's going to do it for us. I'm probably going to wrap this up. I'm probably going to throw it up in a post in Pride of Detroit. Yeah. So if you missed any of it, the YouTube will be on Pride of Detroit in, let's say, 30 minutes or so. Then we're going to have all sorts of posts breaking it down tomorrow morning in terms of the finances of it, in terms of opinions on it, in terms of maybe the question of the day is who you think won the trade or if you liked the trade. And then we'll be back here, right here on this Twitch and YouTube channels, breaking it all down, maybe talking a little bit about some of the coaching hires that happened since our last podcast as well, with our good friend Ryan Matthews. Probably be an afternoon, evening podcast. Make sure you're subscribed to YouTube, subscribe to Twitch. You get those notifications so that you know when we're live. But until then, guys, get some sleep. Thank you for joining us. We hit all sorts of records this podcast, maybe since the last draft. So you guys are amazing. We'll get through this. 2021's not going to be great, but the future is bright, my friends. We got first-round picks. We got an offense. We've got a front office that isn't afraid to make a ballsy move like this. Let's not kid ourselves. This was a ballsy trade for the very first move for a general manager, first-time general manager. So credit to Brad Holmes. Hopefully it works out well. But until then, guys, it's chaos. Be kind. See you guys soon.